Hi, I'm Kori.
And I'm Matt, and wow, we certainly have some big shoes to fill here, but we're excited to share our story.
Perfect. So our motto is, if you had the chance, would you change the world? And I know if you asked everybody in this room in particular, you would say yes, whether it was something big or something small. So the idea for our company came, actually, I was on a Mount Everest base camp exhibition with my fiance. And I grew up in Alberta, which is a fantastic place to grow up, in the bubble that is Alberta. You know, going on family ski trips, playing hockey, never really needing anything or wanting anything. Not realizing that 98% of the world doesn't live like we do here in Alberta. So I was on a Mount Everest base camp trip. It was really my first trip outside of Alberta, which is a very big eye-opener. So we were about 2 days below base camp, so it's about 21,000 feet. We're on a cold day on a rocky, narrow path, heading up towards base camp. And I'm dressed as your typical North American tourist. I have a North Face down outfit on, and there's a 16-year-old kid behind me carrying my bag plus 2 other people's bags. And we're heading up towards base camp. And we pass an old man on the trail going the same way as we are. And he's not wearing any shoes. He's barefoot. He's got no jacket. It's just a ripped pair of pants and a ripped shirt, no hat, no gloves. And he has this enormous basket on his back. Much like the one you see in this picture. And we asked him what he was doing. We talked through our interpreter. And he says, I'm getting paid 25 cents US a day to carry this enormous load up towards base camp. We looked inside the basket, and what he was carrying was just cans and cans and cans of cola. So at that point, I realized that either directly, or in this case, maybe indirectly, some of the biggest companies on the planet were making money literally off the backs of the poorest people in the world. And at the time, Nepal would have been the 3rd poorest place on the planet. So, came back home and started thinking, it's like, well, why can't we evolve the existing business paradigm, change the way it works to benefit those who really need it? So what we did is we came up with a company that can compete against the biggest companies in the world, have a great product, have a great culture around your company, hire the best and the brightest, pay everybody a fair and equitable wage. But at the end of the day, we would give everything we made back to people who really need it the most. So our mandate is to give 100% of our net profits from sales globally to the United Nations World Food Program to combat global hunger.
Myself, really similar to Kori, grew up here in the bubble that is Edmonton. Lucky enough to have done some travel throughout my early life as well. This is a shot of my parents and I. They run a medical mission that goes down to South America every year. And they started this organization when I was 12 years old. And I used to help them pack up 55 hockey bags full of drugs and supplies. And I'd watch them come home year after year with these incredible photos and stories of these people that they were helping. And I begged them for year after year to come and to experience that with them. And finally, when I was 19, I got to go down for the first time. And my eyes, similar to Kori, were just really, truly open to how the other side of the world is living. And I remember coming home from that first trip and sitting there on the couch with my dad and saying, why is it that you continue to do this year after year? It's a strain on your practice. It's a strain on the family. You're gone for a month at a time. And he looked at me and he said, Matthew, if we're not operating in that hospital, if we're not active there, these people simply have no hope. And those 2 words just cut right through me. They set a spark in me, and I knew there was something that I wanted to do to help. And as fate would have it, I met Kori at the time that he was coming up with this incredible idea. We were working in a ski shop in Edmonton together, and we would be working Sunday afternoons. It'd be dead in the store. We'd be hanging out, just waxing skis in the back and talking about the concept. And finally, he got busy enough after a few months of me and with me begging him for a job and took me onto the team.
So we have a very unique relationship. We're the only company in the world partnered with the United Nations World Food Program. And as you can imagine, when we started this company, we started it in a University of Alberta campus apartment. We had an old van my grandfather gave me and a laptop and 1 phone. So to get a partnership with the World Food Program was very difficult. So Matt and I, we put together the idea. We made it look really nice, put it in a binder, and we went to the UN website, which is a big deal. Went to the UN website and we phoned every single number on the website, and no one would return our calls. We left messages, we emailed, we sent the package by DHL, we sent it by Canada Post. We even used fax machines when those existed, and we kept doing this just relentlessly for 3 months. And then finally, someone gave us a call from UN headquarters in Geneva and said, if you just stop calling us, we'll give you a meeting in Ottawa at our office there. So luckily we got the meeting. We got our 10-minute meeting and we flew to Ottawa. And luckily the person we met there had a little vision and said, look, we'll give you guys a try. We like your concept. And now we've actually got a worldwide agreement with the World Food Program, and we're honored to be working with them.
The World Food Program is the world's largest aid organization. Anytime you see a plane, a train, a ship transporting food throughout the world, chances are that's them. They are kind of the logistics arm within which UNICEF, UNHCR, Red Cross work within. They're the first to respond, the last to leave in any time of disaster, working in about 90 countries around the world, providing food aid to 90 million people. They come up with unconventional solutions to get food to these people. This is them actually physically bombing food into an area in sub-Saharan Africa where the roads had been completely wiped out. And the scope of what the United Nations World Food Program is just means that our money goes that much further with them. If they're out there building 9 schools, we can give them some money and they'll go out and build that 10th school just a few kilometers down the road. And one really important, critical thing with our contract with them is that 100% of the money that we give them goes directly into the field. So none of the money that we give them is tied up in any sort of administration costs. And again, just a massive organization that's really making sure that we're helping as many people as possible with our donations.
So when we started our company, no one would sell our products, obviously. They wanted nothing to do with us. So we built our own little booth and we put it on the street, built it in the driveway, and we started selling our products. And that's really how things got going. It was very difficult.
We rock up anywhere, music festivals, sporting events with a tent and a table, and we just get out there and share our story and try to educate consumers that your purchases really truly can affect positive change in the world. Our first warehouse was Kori's garage. Back in that day, I mean, we had one cell phone and you'd call it and it would say, for marketing, +1, for sales, press 2, for finance, 3, and it all came to the same cell phone.
Yeah.
And we were running around throughout the morning delivering water, and then in the afternoons trying to build more and more customers.
So we always believed that this business model could evolve into just being more than just about one product. We wanted it to be about many products so we could continue to grow. So our next thing we got into was coffee. So we do a fair trade organic coffee, Rainforest Alliance certified. So it's really important to us to make sure we're protecting biodiversity, it's fair trade, it's organic, and every time we sell a bag of coffee anywhere in the world, we can provide food, water, and education to a child for an entire week. We actually take it one step further, and then you never know those fair trade stamps or those organic stamps. We actually send our coffee broker to every single coffee farm, which is Eastern Africa, South America, Central America, Indonesia, checks them every year to make sure that the kids are going to school, the farmers are getting paid fair and equitable wages, and things really are organic, and people are working in a safe environment.
The next project that we had was a tea product, and we're actually, as far as we know, one of the only Canadian-grown teas on the market. We found this incredible family just outside of Edmonton. They've got this beautiful tea farm where they actually don't allow any vehicles on site. It's all grown organically, picked by hand, washed and dried in the sun. Kori and I are lucky enough to head out there once a year and kind of help them during the harvest time. And the grandmother out there, who's well over 80 years old, heads out there and picks twice as much as us. They're just incredibly driven people. And what it all means is that, again, we just know directly where our product is coming from. We know that it's leaving the habitat in its best possible situation. And again, with this product, for every box of tea that we sell, we're able to feed and educate a child for an entire week. So we actually attach something tangible to that. So when you pick it up off the shelf, you know exactly what you're achieving. We're really happy with kind of the way our products look and everything right now, but if we wind back 5 years, we were essentially insolvent. We were this close to giving each other a hug and moving in the opposite direction. We had to let go of all of our staff. We suspended our salaries for years, got rid of the office, took on second jobs that we were pouring an additional 40 hours a week into, and we just really truly believe that, listen, we got to dig our heels in and find a way to weather this storm.
Yeah, there's no question. Things were bad for a long time, and luckily both of us had very understanding girlfriends, and we lived off of them. They have real jobs, so it was good. So, Matt and I we'd go on sales trips because we didn't have a budget, and we would rent a minivan and put sleeping bags in the back of the minivan, and we would park in what we thought was a nice neighborhood in the evening and sleep in the back of the minivan. We would camp at big events when we had, huge meetings with multinational companies, but we would be camping the night before. We'd go to a coffee shop and brush our teeth, and then, of course, we always hit the 99-cent breakfast at IKEA, so those are always good.
So we're never really happy sitting still. We're always trying to rush forward as fast as possible. We have the ability to do that as a small organization. We're lucky enough to now spread all throughout the world. You can find our products in 12 European countries. In South Korea, we've actually launched a little cafe there where if you come in and you buy a coffee, you can feed and educate a child for a day. But again, we're always trying to move forward, and we kind of consider that the best way to predict the future is to invent it.
One thing I think Matt and I are really proud about is that since those bad days, 5 years ago, where we were literally at the point where we were going to shut the company down, we had remortgaged the house a couple times. I'd used all my student loans to start the company, which is, by the way, illegal. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know that till later. To do that, in the last 4 years, we've been able to provide food, water, and education to 1.5 million children living in some of the most desperate places on the planet.
Truly, we believe we're just getting started. Again, we've got a wall of stickies at our warehouse that just has numerous different ideas and concepts that we're trying to push on. One of these is a Lego type of bottle. So in times of emergency, the first thing you have to do is get water into people's hands. And oftentimes that's just being dropped thousands of little plastic bottles of water, which is just creating a mountain of waste. And obviously in a lot of these places, there are no recycling programs. So our concept is to have a Lego bottle here, about 5 gallons. And what you can do is you can get the water from it, but when you're done with it, fill it up with earth and place these things together, and you can actually build a structure. Because all too often in these times, people are living literally underneath a tarp or beneath a tree, and they have no protection from the elements.
Yeah, we're working with Engineers Without Borders on this right now. We're hoping to get into the field testing with the World Food Program shortly. I'm sure everybody has a credit card in their wallet right now that has, air miles. If you use your credit card for the next 4 years, you might be able to take a flight from, Edmonton to Calgary if you're lucky. So we came up with a different idea. This card will have human miles. So you'll use your card all year just as you normally would, and you can log into the website and you can see how many points, how many human miles you've collected, and you can use those points for a number of different things. You'll be able to drill a well in Bangladesh. You'll be able to send a child to school for a year. You'll be able to buy a family a goat or a pig, provide seed for a crop. So we're going to have a whole bunch of different options that people will be able to use their points for at the end of the year.
So the question oftentimes is why? Why did we persevere for all those years, all the sleepless nights, our parents, our family, our friends just saying, listen, guys, go back to school, get a real job, do something.
That question got asked a lot. The why, because we believe that, the traditional business model is broken and we think this can work. And we really think that this is something that, could really change a lot of people's lives. And we were obviously very passionate about it and wanted to make sure that it would succeed.
We were actually lucky enough to see firsthand where this money's going a couple of years ago. We went down to the Philippines where we were providing 250,000 meals to children, and the entire day was just unbelievable. We flew into essentially what was a dirt path. We're met by the 5 Toyota Land Cruisers, flew through the jungle for a few hours through security checkpoints. The region had just recently been wiped away by 2 consecutive floods. They told us had we been there a couple of weeks earlier, we would have actually been able to smell the scent of rotting bodies, and that was pretty powerful. But we parked on the side of this makeshift highway, hiked into the jungle for about 100 meters, and found this beautiful hand-painted sign. The children all started walking out of the jungle and placing garlands around our necks and singing songs for us. They had no idea who we were. The parents had no idea who we were. They just knew that we were kind of that reason they would be able to go to school and get that one meal. For the parents, one less meal for them to have to worry about, and just a really incredibly motivating experience for us. Our latest project, we'll just talk quickly about as well. We got a chance to go to Bolivia. This is central Bolivia. We're up about 4,100 meters, so very high. Again, in the white Toyota Land Cruisers, as we're going along a road that's not really a road here. All the kids walk to school about an hour and a half. Most of them are 5 or 6 years old. They walk by themselves. There's no electricity, no running water. These schools, when the kids arrive to school, they get breakfast from us. They also get lunch as well, which will be the only 2 meals during the day they'll get. Obviously, we brought some soccer balls with us, and we threw them out there, and the whole school emptied out. The teachers were very upset with us about this situation. We thought it would be fun, but it was, but they got the day off. All of our projects always get clean, safe drinking water as well as sanitation. And if you're a girl, you actually get food to take home at the end of the day, because often girls just don't go to school. And it's, the stats are very clear, the research is very clear that you need to educate the girls in the community. It changes everything. It's something that we're very passionate about to make sure the girls go to school. So we actually bribe the families into sending the girls to school by sending extra food home. So again, we talk about that why. Why is it that we continue to do this and battle against Coke and Pepsi, who just dominate our space, rip our product down, rip our promo material down? They protect it so fiercely. Well, the reason is, we got the opportunity to meet Maria Lorena here, who told us that she dreams of becoming a doctor one day. And we've met so many of these children who we want to do everything we can to ensure that they can pursue their dreams and realize their full potential. So just before we finish up here, a couple of concluding thoughts to leave you with. It's sadly, it's a well-known, it's a documented fact that every 6 seconds a child is dying somewhere in the world from lack of food and water. So maybe to put that in perspective, while Matt and I have been up on the stage here today, that's about 150 children have died just from lack of food and water, something very simple. Yeah. So alternatively, ourselves as a company, we're now providing food, water, and education to a child every 125 seconds. But that's not really good enough, is it? No. So we've got a long ways to go. Our goal is we want to be providing food, water, and education to a child every 5 seconds somewhere in the world. And that would be the equivalent of providing more meals than there are children currently registered in school in Canada from kindergarten to grade 12. We believe we're going to get there, and we're well on our way to doing it. We've seen it firsthand. We understand that this can happen. There is an evolution right now happening in consumerism, and the choice is in your hands. Thank you for listening to our story, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.